I've been a fan of Guy Ritchie for about 20 years now, ever since I saw Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels and Snatch. I love those movies. I think they're absolutely phenomenally fun gangster flicks. I also really liked Rock'n'Rolla and thoroughly enjoyed those Sherlock Holmes movies with Robert Downey Jr. Since then though, and it's been around 9 years now, he hasn't put out anything all that great in my opinion. I mean, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. was kinda whatever to me, as was King Arthur. They were fine for the most part, but nothing special. I could take him or leave him. And most recently he made Aladdin, which I have a hard time considering a Guy Ritchie movie. But with that being said, this one looked like a return to his roots with a more gangstery movie. It also has a great cast with people like Matthew McConaughey and Charlie Hunnam. So I was cautiously optimistic about it, but tried not to get too excited. And well, the story here follows an assortment of characters involved in some illegal activities. But instead of dealing with street-level thugs, we're dealing with slightly more classier versions of them. With criminal operations that are a lot bigger in scale and make way more money too. So what Ritchie's done here is taken that old formula that made him famous and sorta upgraded it to be a bit more ambitious and, as I said, slightly classier. Without losing the thing that I've personally always liked perhaps the most about his movies, the dialogue. Because the man has a way with words, and when it comes to his dialogue, it just puts a smile on my face, and it didn't fail to do that here either. Because as soon as Hugh Grant's character, who works sort of as a narrator, comes on screen, I couldn't help but to fall right into my happy place, and that's a lot thanks to the performance too. Because while I liked Charlie Hunnam a lot in this, Hugh Grant stole the show. I mean, he was clearly having so much fun with this, and it's easily my favorite performance of his in recent memory, if not ever. Because I've never been a huge fan of his, and that's mostly down to the kind of movies he's done. And not necessarily him as an actor, but here he absolutely nailed it. I loved him in this. And as I said, I still like the dialogue a lot here too. There were a number of really funny moments. And as a whole too, the movie had several moments of genuine brilliance. But in general, there was something missing, and I think that something was this energy. That very tight pacing and editing and almost frantic energy that his best movies have. This one though unfortunately lacked a bit of that punch and tightness, and it felt a bit slow, honestly. And it's not even that long of a movie, but it felt longer than it was. And that's a shame because other than that, I didn't really have any issues with it. I liked the story, I liked the look, I liked the performances, loved a lot of the dialogue. It was just a fun and solid movie, but I do think the pacing could have been improved a fair bit. And as it is right now, it's just nowhere near his best work, but it is a step up from his last few movies. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't find it to be enjoyable for the most part. But at the same time, I couldn't help but to feel a tad bit let down too. Just because of how close it is to being really good, but just ends up being pretty good, with a few moments of brilliance thrown into the mix. Now with that being said, would I recommend it? I mean, sure, I think it's probably worth giving a shot. Especially if you're a fan of Guy Ritchie, I doubt you'll hate it, so perhaps give it a look or don't. After all, I'm not your dad. But hey, what are your thoughts on this? Have you seen it? Did you like it? Let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, maybe give it a thumbs up or sub to the channel, because that would be fantastic. And if you'd like, you can also support me on Patreon or PayPal through the links in the description. And as always, I appreciate you and thanks for watching.